And this is what I did from day 51 through day 58. When I open up menu, okay, it's the same thing. No new items are added here. But one thing I did was when you click on menu button right here, this menu shows up. This is a new thing I added to my app. And first one says about us, and second one is preferences, and last one is exit. Exit will simply exit the application for you. Okay, let me open. And about us is of course about me, using a theme, special layout, theme layout, and back menu. And preferences will control some of the elements of the activities I have set up, created so far. And for example, music, it is right now checked. This controls a splash sound, so it's right now on, but if you uncheck this, let me exit the app. Now it's not going to be any splash sound anymore. I would like to keep the splash sound on because it kind of tells me that it's opening up, so it's useful when I'm developing the app for reviewing purposes. So preferences, preferences settings are kept, as you can see. So that's something I had to do too, so that it will retain the preferences setting. And the list controls the list activities I set up in data activity. And well, so that's what it does. So that's one of the things I set up. And if I open up the data, this text right here, that's gonna be controlled by, you can control this text by preferences as well. How it works is, okay, if you choose option 1, the text for that option is stored in the preference. Already set it up, hard-coded it. So it's gonna be Koichi is in 5 dots. That's gonna be used for that text view item. So I'm gonna go back to this data activity and see here. It's a little too small to see, but it worked. So that's what it is. And some of the things to note about the development is, I had to create a few new files. First of all, I had to create this new folder XML and create a preference XML file here, and that's what it is. What it does is simply setting up the elements or items that should go into the preferences menu. And as you can see, the middle one will control the music, and this is a preferences XML, and as you can see, preference screen and blah blah blah, and this is predetermined items elements. So this is gonna check control the checkbox preference, and when its value is true, no, I mean default value is true, so you can change it later, and the key or label is checkbox. It's kind of like an ID, name ID, and this is a title. It's called music. That's what showed up under preference. So the appearance, whatever it showed up there, this controls it. And the first one is kind of, a pretty simple game, but this one is kind of tricky. And list preference, it's using the array list and the array list value. And also the splash, because it needs to get preference input. I had to add if statement here, because if the music sound box is checked, then it's gonna play the sound here, our song start. So if music is true, that this is gonna played. So I had to add this, and this music, in order to use this variable music, I had to set it up here, and it actually uses a new technique called shared preferences. And shared preferences, and this is the variable, and it's set to preference manager is also another class that holds a bunch of methods, and you can get default share preferences from this, and that's going to be stored there. So that's going to be the in the system. And now I am declaring setting up a Boolean variable called music. I named it music, and this variable is going to store the information from the checkbox that I set up, the middle, this one, this item, this preference item, and the default value is going to be true, but if it's not true, then this is going to be skipped. By the way, this 5,000, if you think it's a little too long, there's a little bit too much of a wait time there, so I want to change it to 3 seconds. 3,000 milliseconds is probably better. Okay. Anyway, there are a bunch of other things I did, but chances are I'm not going to be probably using a lot of preferences techniques, at least initially, so I'm going to just stop right here.